Welcome to Successful Toy Podcast, where we shine a light on the positive side of every journey. Our platform is dedicated to celebrating the success stories and unique experience of people from all walks of life, regardless of their fame or background. Whether you're a well-known figure or just starting out, the Successful Toy Podcast is here to share your story and inspire our listener with your achievements and insights. Join us as we explore a diverse range of topics and uplift voices that deserve to be heard. Everyone has a story to tell, and we're here to listen. Hey y'all, hey my toy talkers. I'm back with another interview, and this one is very informative. So I hope y'all have y'all paper and y'all pencil, honey, because I'm ready for it. So I'm gonna let her introduce herself. Go ahead, introduce yourself, Jolie.
Thank you. My name is Jolie Downs. I am a partner with Paradigm Staffing. We're a recruiting firm that specializes in public relations, marketing, communications, and sales business development talent. I'm also the podcast host of Thriving After 40, the podcast host of Career Wanderlust, and the author of Thriving After 40.
Oh, you have a lot.
I've got some things going on. There's been
I don't
too
feel
many
bad no
exciting
more.
stuff.
Feel bad no more. I be feeling like I got so much going on. Like I got to talk about this, I got to talk about that, I got to talk about this. But baby, I have met my match.
Yeah.
So today's episode is sponsored by The Product. You can follow them on IG. It's DAPRADUCT, and go check out their merch. So yeah, are you ready to get into it?
I am ready. Let's do this.
Okay, let's go. What's drive your passion for continuous self-development, and how do you keep that motivation alive?
Ooh, good question. I had gotten into personal development and self-development earlier on in life when I was a teenager, struggling with my mother was very sick and I was struggling with that. And it really, really helped. And then life got in the way. My mother passed away. I got married, had kids. All of these things happened and it took a back burner, if you will.
Mhm.
And then when I lost my father, and went into a little bit of a spiral there, I refound personal development. And personal development really helped take me out of my own grief and in that difficult headspace and lean into learning and growing and expanding. And it has just been this wonderful gift that continues to keep giving. And I'm so passionate about it. I love continuing to learn. So for me, it's a matter of realizing that we are fed constantly. I mean, we're constantly being fed by the media, by people around us without our permission.
Yeah,
And all of this it's impacting us in all kinds of ways that we aren't realizing. So I've become really passionate about proactively feeding my mind. And I believe that this is something that, well, I know I'm going to do this for the rest of my life, but I believe everyone should be aware of this and proactively feed their mind in a positive way in order to continue to grow and to continue to become more successful, build a more thriving of a life as you continue to grow and learn.
I love that. Can you share a significant moment in your career where a focus on personal development led to a breakthrough?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I really got very focused in personal development and became a passion of mine. And then when the pandemic hit, this was pivotal, really, because the pandemic, as a recruiter, you can imagine what happened to my business when the
Yeah.
pandemic hit. So it was wiped out for a little bit there. And I was left wanting to help. I wanted to do something to help other people. And I had this passion for personal development, and I had this book idea that I wanted to write, and I thought this is the perfect time. But when I realized how many interviews it was going to take and how long it would take to write this book, I wouldn't be able to have that impact when people were really needing it. So I
Mhm.
decided to start a podcast and do the interviews with a podcast so people could take inspiration from the stories as I was interviewing and learning them as I went along.
Yeah.
And this started because I wanted to help others. I wanted to bring that insight to others. And what I told myself is if it helps just one person, it would be worth it.
Mhm.
And what I found and what I didn't realize is that while, yes, the podcast helped many people, it impacted me in such a great way. It absolutely changed me because it took all of these personal development concepts that I'd been learning about. But Thriving After 40 is a podcast where I talk to people over the age of 40 who are thriving in life
Mhm.
about their personal stories. And we went through the whole arc of their story, their challenges, their successes, how they got all of those. And after so many stories, I started to see that there were these commonalities that, I mean, it's the things that you learn in personal development, but I was watching them played out in story after story. So they became not just concepts, but what I started calling universal laws. That's what I started calling them. These are universal laws that we can all follow, that can make our lives better, that can up level our lives in all kinds of different ways. And they're very simple concepts that when we apply them make all the difference.
Yeah.
And so this whole process led into not only impacting anyone who was following along and listening, because at the end of each episode, I would wrap it up with what can we take it away. But I took all of these key concepts and I turned it into a book, Thriving After 40. And that book has also continued to impact me. So,
Right.
because we all have ups and downs. I recently went through a little bit of a down, and I remember I pulled out the book and started looking. It's like, oh yeah, I needed that reminder. It makes such a difference.
Yeah. And it's so crazy. Like, I've been running across a lot of people that come in on my platform, started a podcast during the pandemic. I wish I would have been one of those people.
When did you start yours?
I've been in podcasting for 2 years
Oh,
now,
that's great.
but on my own for a year.
Fantastic. It's
Yeah.
so rewarding, isn't it?
Yes, and it feels, oh my God, it feels so good, especially when you talking to people, like you literally learn different things. That saying is true when they say you can learn something learn something new every day. Like I literally, every time I talk to somebody, I'm learning something,
Absolutely.
and I
And
love that.
one of my favorite things it happens so often. Like one of the things I say so often is the other day I was talking to a podcast guest and I learned this.
Yes. Yes, that's how I be. I be like, yeah, and they taught me this. And then some of them now, they be teaching me about myself too. And I be like,
Mm,
yeah, let me write that down because I'm definitely going to talk to my therapist about that. Because if you want to bring that to the forefront, I would have never thought
right? Isn't
about that.
self-awareness is so powerful, and a lot of times
Yeah.
we need someone to point something out because
Hmm.
we're just living our lives oblivious to so much that subconsciously we're doing without
Yeah.
realizing it.
And it's like some things that we feel like not big to us, but when somebody speak it, you like, so that is a problem. And I'm over here acting like
Absolutely.
it's not a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I learn something new about myself all the time.
Me too. That makes me think of this powerful practice that had been shared with me by other guests, and I've learned this through both podcasts. People have suggested it for personal life and for career by
Mhm.
just asking like the five closest people to you that know you really well,
Mhm.
and sending them an email and asking them to think about, what is it that I do really well? What is it that you think I could do better? Well, asking these types of questions and getting some insight into your own self by asking some trusted people. And I thought that was very powerful. And you can do that both with your career and your personal life.
What is it that I do
What
good
is it that I do really well?
at
What do you
doing?
believe I do really well? What is it that you think I could do better? Is there something getting in my way that I'm not noticing that you've noticed?
I'm telling them to have their paper out. I'm glad I had mine out.
And you
I'm
can get
writing
some
this
really good
down.
insight.
That
Even
I
in personal life, what have you noticed that brings
can
me joy?
do better. Uh-huh. Yes, I will be. If my kids or if you listening, yes, you will be getting these questions. Questions. I like that though. I like that. Okay. How do you balance your time between professional growth and personal well-being?
Ooh, what a great question because it's so important, right? Balance is
Mhm.
is key. And what I found is I actually adopted this practice called the life book. And what I found is this is an incredibly powerful practice, and not only because it's incredibly beneficial to go through, but this is one of the universal laws that I learned through all the stories. It
Mhm.
is a must that you know what it is that you want. And it's a must that you know the type of life you want to create and what that looks like in all of its facets. So first, getting in touch with that. So knowing, what is my ideal life like with my relationships? What does that look like? What is my ideal life with my work? What does that look like? What is my ideal life with joy? What does that look like? So financial, spiritual, intellectual, going through all the different pieces and figuring out, what is it that I really want? And what's important here is, what is it that I really want, not what other people want for me. So it's not based on your family's wants and desires. It's not based on your children's wants and desires, your partners, your friends, the media, whatever. It's really getting in touch with yourself and what does that look like? So what does a successful life look like to me? Because we get trapped in other people's definition of success. And when we do that, we are not living our best, most fulfilling life. So once you have that and you have that picture, then you can take a look and see where you need a little bit of work. And it's really a constant checking in, right? So perhaps this week I really need a little bit more focus on my professional work. I need a little more focus on physical activity, and I do a little more focus there. And the next week I take a look at my life. Where is it they're needing a little more focus? Where do I need more balance? And it's a constant connecting with yourself, checking in, self-aware again. Self-awareness is so important, seeing where you're at and making those adjustments. Do I need more time with my kids? Have I been neglecting my friends? And and so every week I just do a quick check-in to see where I might need a little adjustment, and I make that adjustment. And then every year I make sure and ask myself, is this still what I want? Is this vision still what is serving me? Is this still the direction I want to go in? Has anything changed? Have my desires changed? Because we do change.
We do change.
Yeah.
I love that. So we're going to take a quick break, and I hope y'all let that marinate, and y'all better be finding out how to balance y'all life, because some of y'all are unbalanced. And I'm glad I taught myself balance when I started doing the podcast on my own, and I got back into my relationship. It was like, I can't neglect my mate for the podcast, and I'm not going to neglect my podcast for my mate. So we got to figure this out.
Exactly. I mean, you can have someone who is incredibly successful in the work and they're making millions of dollars, but if they are estranged in their relationship, if they not connecting with their friends, if they're not finding their joy and passion, are they truly successful in life?
Exactly.
So balance, it's the key.
Yeah.
Sure.
So we're gonna take this quick break, and y'all make sure y'all follow the Petty Employee on TikTok and check out his merch. He has some nice merch. That's whose shirt I'm rocking today. It's called Pretty and Petty. So we're going to get into this song, and it's called So Ancients by Scoop.
Hey. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Let's go. Ooh, yeah. Numashi. Ooh, yeah. Daddy. Ooh, yeah. The winning team. Ooh, yeah. So anxious. Ooh, yeah. And the party so wasted. Ooh, yeah. All these clubs can't taste it. Ooh, yeah. All these blunts see face it. Ooh, yeah. So anxious. Ooh, yeah. And the party so wasted. Ooh, yeah. All these clubs can't taste it. Ooh, yeah. All these blunts see face it. Ooh, yeah. Chill at the party, fucking a thotty, now she clean on me. Ooh, it's getting gnarly, sauce at the party, drinks, she's feeling on me. Ooh, flex so hard, just need me a taste. Pull up a Bentley, don't need a race. Cross any niggas, put them on skates. Diamonds splash, feeling like clay. I don't know, I forgot. Last time I remember you who took this shot. Now we sitting here thinking in the plot. My savage just walked in with blunts all in the spot. So anxious, and the party so wasted. All these clubs can't taste it. All these blunts see face it. So anxious, and the party so wasted. All these clubs can't taste it. All these blunts see face it. At this point I can't feel shit. Drinks I feel it. I once it's building. Disappoint Shawty's feelings, I had to kill him. Walk in the party, I dropped the location. Moving slow cause I'm stuck in the matrix. Solo the cup with the Henny, no chase. Watch your homeboy cause he making me anxious. Yo, so the boy created the move. Boss in the bitch, they throwing it too. Quit all that stare, go make a move. At the end of the night, she back in my room. Got the club jumping, I ain't never running. Ain't talking Phoenix, every rap is steady sunning. Thugging by my lonely, I be steady gunning. I'm a walking check, stepping in my Nike runners. I don't know where the blunt was passed to. Any minute I'ma stumble to the bathroom. Here we go, tighten up, don't mean to ask you. If you put a next shot, then I'll match so you. Anxious, and the party so wasted. All these bugs can't taste it. All these blunts need face it. So anxious, and the party so wasted. All these bugs can't taste it. All these blunts need face it.
Yes, yes, yes. That was So Anxious by Scoop. Scoop, Scoop, Scoop. So let's get back into it. So, what are the top resources, books, courses, mentors that have had the biggest impact on your development journey?
Ooh, I love this. My favorite is actually a company called Mind Valley. I'm a member of Mind Valley, which is a personal development company, essentially, that works with a lot of different authors. And you can pay for a yearly membership and you have access to all of the different authors and their courses, their speeches, their insights and whatnot. It also has meditations and it is fantastic. So it's Lisa Nichols, Sri Kumar, Michael Beckwith, Eric Edmeades. There are so many. I mean, Marissa Peer. I mean, all of these people have Jeffrey Allen. All of these people have had really, really big impacts on my life because of the things that they're teaching. And I would highly suggest any of these people you can find on YouTube. If you're really interested in personal development, I suggest you look at the company Mind Valley. It is a fantastic company that also brings people together in their locations. Every summer they have this Mind Valley University where it's a different location in Europe each year, and hundreds of people come together and they have all these personal development speakers so that you have this aspect of learning and you can bring your children. It's family friendly. And then, but it also has a lot of fun. So it's this really amazing experience where you go and you have a lot of fun traveling, but then you meet all of these people who are like-minded individuals. They're all trying to live their best life. They're all continually learning and growing and connecting with people. And it's really an amazing environment, an amazing network to be a part of. So, but I also, Tony Robbins, I love Gary V. So I follow a lot of those people.
Period. In your experience, what common obstacles do people face in their self-development and how can they overcome them?
We don't do what we're learning.
Facts.
We don't, it's the not applying the new insights when you get them. And really, I think the most important thing is applying it right away. As soon as you learn it, do it, write it down, get yourself a notebook and pen and paper and start writing things down. When you're asked an impactful question, take the time that evening to think about the answer, write the answer down. Writing things down is magical, I've found. I mean, people told me this all my life and I just kind of poo-pooed it. It's like, whatever. It's in my head. I don't need to write it down. And people, I remember. But there is something really magical that happens when you write it down. And I say this as someone who's learned it and will still continue to I won't write things down and I'll resist and then I'll finally write it down. And it's like the universe brings it into my life as soon as I write it down. It's really amazing. So doing that, I think is most important. I mean, something that was impactful that someone said to me is when I said, what's your best advice? And go back to what you know. I mean, there's all of these simple things that we know we should be doing that we are not doing. So
Mhm.
go back to those basics and start doing those simple things. So when you start floundering, go back to ask yourself, what is it you want? Look at the ways to get there. Start taking those baby steps. Start taking care of yourself. Look at your relationships. Look at how you're dealing with your relationships. Are you bringing the joy in your life? What do you need to add to bring more joy? What do you need to subtract to eliminate some of the pain? All of these very simple things that we can do, but a lot of times we're just barreling forward, in
Mhm.
life,
Yeah.
not doing them, because a lot of us, we're just trying to, exist in this life. We're just trying to get through. And so a
Yeah.
lot of times our heads are down and it's like Groundhog Day. So really stopping, paying attention, and going back to all those very simple things that you should be doing and actually doing them. And
And
sometimes you
you,
need to put that in your calendar, and mark it off in your calendar, make the plans.
and you know what's so crazy? Since you say write it down, like I'm the type of person I need to write it down. I need to see it
Yes.
because I don't took so many notes or people done sent me stuff and I don't never look at it. I don't never look at it. So I definitely get when you saying like we get stuff and we don't use what we've been learned. I'm one of
Mhm.
those people. I get stuff that I know I should be studying and changing, but
Mhm.
I wrote down in my face, I ain't looking at that.
Yep, exactly.
So
Yep. So when you take that time, it just becomes a more of a piece of you, if you will.
yeah,
And
yeah.
when you put things on your calendar, that's also very helpful. The reminders. We need the reminders.
Not for me. Me and the guests will talk about that the other day, and they said the same thing. If they put stuff in their calendar, they do not go and look at it. I say that is me. That's why I don't use my calendar on my phone. I need one of those big calendars that goes on my desk, and I can
Yeah.
write it down like that. But I ain't looking at. I'm not looking at that.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
need the
looking at.
I need the dinging reminders, definitely. Those need to pop up and shake me out of what I'm doing.
Yeah, I like that. Okay. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna try to ding. I'm lying. I ain't gonna try that.
Well,
I'm not.
what's important is knowing what works for you, right? I mean,
Yeah.
successful people, there's no one specific habit that will make you successful, but successful people find the habits that work for them, right? And
Right.
we certain habits are not gonna, I am not gonna make my bed every morning. I'm not gonna do that. But a
Me
lot of
either.
people swear that that's the way you have a successful morning. But really, the key is doing something that makes you feel good, that makes you feel like you
Mhm.
did something successful in the morning. So it's really just picking that one small thing that makes you feel that way. For me, it's not
Mhm.
making the bed. For,
Uh-huh.
you know, for me, it's doing a little meditation. If I do a little meditation, I feel like I started my day the right way. It starts on the right foot. And so everyone needs to find their own thing that works for them. So
Mhm.
that's what's important. Not all habits work for all people.
Yeah, because for me, it's reading a page in the Bible every morning when I wake up. That's the
Yeah.
first thing I do.
Yeah. See?
Yeah,
And that's what's important, is finding what's right for you.
yeah.
Yeah.
How do you start update with the latest trends and skills in your industry, and how do you incorporate them into your work? So it say, how
Hmm.
do you stay updated? I don't know what I said, but how do you stay updated? I just feel like I didn't say that.
Yeah. Well, I am an avid reader. I read everything. I subscribe to newsletters. I go on webinars. I join anything I can that if I have the time opening
Mhm.
and it sounds like it's going to benefit me, then I'm going to do it. I recently have been working on my AI certification because that is a
Oh.
huge part of all of our jobs coming. It's going to be a part of our lives. So I've been working on, my certification there just to be on the upper end of that learning curve, if you will.
Mhm.
So I think whatever profession you're in, it is vital that we are constantly learning something new every day. I mean, at the very least, every week. But
Yeah.
like you talked about earlier, it is very possible to learn something new every day. And if
Mm.
you think about that, if you subscribe to newsletters, or if you're looking for the information, if you just find that little piece of information each day, little something that you learn, just think about how far you come after a year, right?
Yeah.
And then that keeps compounding year after year. So I am always looking for ways to learn and grow. Always asking people what they're doing that are helping them be successful,
Mhm.
and applying those to my own work. I find that really talking to people is just an amazing way to learn, and really through my podcast. That's my second podcast, was more career focused. So I talk to people who are leaders in my field, and I get the absolute benefit of learning all of these additional things through these conversations. It's
Yeah.
really wonderful. And anyone can do that. People love to talk and share.
Right. And I ain't gonna lie, it's since you have brought up newsletters, so I'm gonna speak on that. Like it's crazy. I had a guest the other day and he was a small business advisor. So we was talking and things. I took a lot of notes. And then after the show, like we connected so I can work with him because I'm like, it's a lot of things. I don't have all these businesses, but it's a lot of things I still really don't know. And he brought up newsletters and I was like, what is that? How do I do that? Like I always see when I go on other websites and it's like subscribe to our newsletter, but I don't never subscribe because it's like, what is that? Like, I don't. So
Why?
now,
Why should I subscribe to your newsletter?
yeah. So
They're not doing a good job of explaining it then.
right. It's just like subscribe to our newsletter. What is this? What am I getting? Like what is it for? So with my one-on-one with him, he like broke it down to me what it was. So now my podcast offer newsletters for my different segments that I do. So I was like, oh, I get it now. So yeah. So I have newsletters now. I also have a media kit because I've been struggling with a media kit. I'm like, I want a media kit, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what's supposed to go in the media kit. I be seeing it, but how do I
Now you
put it
do,
in?
huh? You learned. Yeah.
Yep.
See, isn't that
Yeah.
fantastic?
Yeah.
I mean, that's brand new knowledge that so many people have no idea. Right?
Yeah. And it really do helps for real. Like it helps you take your business to the next level. And you really have to be open-minded to know what to do. Like you don't know it all. You can have 25 businesses and each one of them you running different, but you still taking what you know from the last business you did. So you know your do's and your don'ts, what not to do with this business, but you still happen to not make the same mistakes, but make the same mistakes, if you get what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
I've learned all my not to do's. So this is my final draw and stop right here.
Yeah. The
So
not to do's are just as important, really.
exactly.
Learning those. Mhm.
Exactly.
Yep.
So we're going to take a quick break before we get into the other questions. And the song that we're going to get into now is called Who Am I by Kilo.
She say, Kilo, you that nigga. I'm like, who else could I be? Nigga try to backdoor me, must they know I had the key. Only keep pluses around cause I can't understand the least. Niggas broken getting pussy, I'm just saying couldn't be me. She say, Kilo, you that nigga. I'm like, who else could I be? Nigga try to backdoor me, must they know I had the key. Only keep pluses around cause I can't understand the least. Niggas broken getting pussy, I'm just saying couldn't be me. Kilo the Don, I'm that nigga. Most these niggas chicken dinners, but ain't never been a winner. Harder line, Kilo Simba. My heart colder than December. Do you remember way back when we was sliding in September? I remember when yo kept that dog food like a kennel. I remember when I had to put the belt up on them niggas. Just remember I'm a OG, all you little niggas beginners. And I jump up in that water if you niggas not no swimmers. Niggas say he won't smoke, he must not read the warning label. All that shit, small fries, fucker, silence, juice, potatoes. And this bitch called me her father, give her force like Darth Vader. Pin her down like we wrestling. And she get up, put her through tables. Small step to a giant, ain't no thing but a chicken wing. Off of bean, go to tweaking like this bitch on Stranger Things. Ain't buy no bitch, no wedding ring unless it come with wedding bands. Riding around with K's and masks like we work with Taliban. No, I cannot shake your hand if you is not talking bands. I have my mans go off your mans, then I do my touchdown dance. She She say, Kilo, you that nigga. I'm like, who else could I be? Nigga try to backdoor me, must they know I had to keep. Only keep pluses around cause I can't understand the least. Niggas broken getting pussy, I'm just saying couldn't be me. She say, Kilo, you that nigga. I'm like, who else could I be? Nigga try to backdoor me, must they know I had to keep. Only keep pluses around cause I can't understand the least. Niggas broken getting pussy, I'm just saying couldn't be me.
Yes, yes, yes. That was Who Am I by Kiblo. So let's get into, we have 2 more questions. Let's get into our final questions. What role does mentorship play in your personal and professional growth? And how do you seek out mentors?
It's an interesting question for me. I was asked about mentors for a speech topic. This was probably about 5-6 years ago. And when I was asked about it, I had this reaction internally. I was like, mentors. And I realized after I did a little deep diving that reaction was because the first couple of mentors that I had professionally were great mentors in teaching me some of the professional ways, but I definitely got burned by them. There was a real hard burn that put me off of mentors, I guess you could say. And I didn't realize that I was doing that. I had no consciousness that I was avoiding mentors until I was asked to do this speech, and did a little review of my life and realized that I had these scars that had actually impacted my life moving forward. And once I realized that, I opened myself up to mentor. And I got my first mentor since I was in my early 20s. And the ability to go from here to here so much faster when you have a mentor, it's spectacular. It really is. And what I learned is that it is vital. I mean, it's so beneficial to have a mentor or a coach, accountability partner, even just someone that you're working with who has your best interests at heart. They're not competing with you. They're just there to support you and give you insights and help. I mean, this is so vital. And so now, I mean, I'm a huge believer in mentors, finding a mentor, providing mentorship to people lower than you. It goes both ways. And really, you can just, if you don't have a mentor and you want to mentor, look for the people that you admire, the people who inspire you, the people who are where you want to be, and go in and ask them. Ask them for help. At the least, the most they can do is say no.
Right.
And you're right where you're at. You lost nothing. But what if they say yes?
Right.
I mean, that can open up so many doors. It can open up so many different ways of life. And what I've learned is that it's really, really important and powerful for you to ask for help. And this was something that was big for me because I struggled with asking for help. I didn't want to ask for help. Yes, it was a block, really. I didn't want to bother people. I didn't want to admit that I needed help. I didn't want, I mean, there were so many different layers of things. But what I've learned is that it's really a beautiful thing to ask for help. I mean, when you ask for help, you're reaching out to someone, and I've learned that just the process of asking for help from someone connects you. I mean, it forms a connection, if you will, regardless. Now, if they say they will help you, then that connection deepens even more. And what happens when that person helps you is it makes them feel good about themselves. And this brings in really good feelings for them. And when they're helping you, it brings in really good feelings for you. Both of you end up feeling grateful. And what happens from there is you both end up spreading that positivity and gratitude forth in your own lives. So actually, when you ask for help, you are doing something beautiful for the universe, not only for yourself, but for someone else. And the residual outcome that happens when people are just, this is what people are, and when we help each other, we uplift each other. It's what we need. It's what it's one of the universal laws that I learned, that really when people are finding their success and they're doing really well, that catalyst from doing really well to just phenomenal is changing the question from how can I help myself to how can I help others. And when you do that and you start looking at how I can apply what I'm doing to helping others, that's when it seems like people's stories really take off.
Yeah.
And when you talk to people, I mean, the impact. So even when you talk to people who are maybe doing a lot of help, like there's this story I heard at a conference about, I can't remember the name of the hospital, so you'll have to forgive me, but apparently it's one of the larger hospitals in the world. It was started in somewhere in Asia where I believe a monk had walked out of a hospital, seen a homeless man who had come into the hospital to try to get help and was literally bleeding. Blood was just pouring out of him, and they would not help him because he didn't have insurance or money, and he had to leave. And he'd seen like this bowl of blood essentially that had come out of this homeless man, and it decided that there needed to be healthcare for people who didn't have the means, essentially, and started this hospital based on volunteers. Apparently this hospital is run by volunteers. And what stuck with me was this comment made by someone who devotes a lot of their time and energy to the hospital and helping. And they said, does the hospital need me more, or do I need the hospital more? And 100% I need the hospital more. And I believe that that's what happens when we help others.
Yeah.
It's what we need for our own souls. And so mentors, if you don't have one, go out and find one. Go ahead and ask. If they say no, that's okay. Ask the next person until you find the right person. And that can make all the difference in the world.
Period. Now I got to find. You said when you're choosing one, though, what am I looking for?
You're
Someone
looking
that
for
I
someone,
really admire.
Yes, someone who inspires you, someone who is embodying the type of life that you want.
Okay.
The ideals that you are looking to create yourself. So find people within that you feel that connection with, and then and if you do, they're going to feel that connection to you when you explain why you feel you would love to connect with them as a mentor. And if you can't find one that way, I mean, there's coaches all over the place. There's all kinds of great coaches, and most of the most successful people have their own coaches. Everybody knows that we all need help,
Right.
and that's okay.
What advice will you give to someone who feels stuck in their personal development journey and is looking for a breakthrough?
That's a good question. Depends on how they're stuck. So sometimes if you're really spiraling in the personal development, sometimes you need a little bit of a break. You need to take a step back and figure out why you're spiraling, and figure out what it is that you need. I feel like it goes back to balance. It goes back to balance, and it goes back to self-awareness and what it is that you need. So I know people can get really entrenched in this cycle of personal development. They think that they always have to be getting better. I have to be better. I have to be better. And sometimes it's a matter of finding a different aspect of personal development. So this is the balance that I'm talking about, because there's different levels of personal development, right? There is personal development that has a lot of focus on your accomplishments and your achievements. And I feel like this is an area where a lot of times people might get a little stuck in, where the personal development also includes your spirituality, your relationships, personal development in your financial situations, personal development with your physical, your body and moving your body and things. So it's understanding that it's all of these things. And sometimes when we're stuck, we're focusing on a certain cycle, and we're not seeing the whole true holistic picture of what is needed. So I think if you're feeling stuck, it's really taking the step back, taking a little time for internal introspective. Again, defining what success looks like to you, figuring out what that whole vision is, and really focusing on creating that vision. So, do you need some help with your mindset? Do you need help with the way that you're looking at failures? Do you need help with your relationships? What is it that you need help with? And make sure you're getting a holistic overview of all of those things. So that's what I would suggest, because I think it is really easy to get caught up in little hamster wheel, if you will. And
Yeah.
the other thing I want to say on that too is a lot of it goes back to, and this is Marissa Peer, one of the people I mentioned, something that she talks a lot about, and she says is absolutely vital to everybody, is to know that you are enough, that you are enough just as you are. You know, personal development is there for us to continually grow, to get better, and this is what we're here for, right? I mean, that's
Right.
why we're alive, is for our growth and experience. But you also don't have to put all of these expectations on yourself that I have to be doing this in order to be enough. I have to be doing this to be happy. It's really starting with where you're at and knowing that you are enough just as you are, even if you're struggling with your finances, even if you're struggling in your relationships, even if you're struggling with all different aspects of life, you are enough. You need to feel that. You need to know that. And then just look at what you need. You know, what is it? Where are the struggles? Take a step back. What is it you need? And then just find those different avenues, you know, start feeding your mind in those different areas. Find speakers that speak to those different things. When you get actionable advice, take that advice right away and
Mhm.
do it. Apply it. And then just keep moving forward with baby steps. Just, you know, it doesn't have to be this huge thing. If you're looking at yourself and you're comparing yourself to others, that's a no right away. And do not
Exactly.
compare yourself to others. Look at, you know, I always say you want to look at your reverse gap, right? It's not about here I am and this is how far I haven't gotten here, you know, I need to get here. It's about, well, here I am and this is where I used to be. You know, you look
Mhm.
back and see, well, last year I was here and now I'm here. Look at all the things I've learned in the past year. Look at how I've grown. Look how, even spiritually, look at how much calmer I am. You know, I mean, all of the different
Mhm.
things. So these are all important.
That is me. I'm so calm compared to how I used to be.
Right? Isn't that a gift?
Yes,
It
and it
is
feels
such
so
a gift.
good. It feels so good, to be honest.
It's that internal light, if you will, of peace. You know, it's
Yeah.
an understanding of yourself and life in a different way that it just feels so good. And I know, I mean, for myself, you know,
Mhm.
10 years ago, even 5 years ago, internally, a completely different person. And,
Yeah.
you know, I can have the same things happening back then, now, when I was a little spastic case. And now I'm very calm. Like, okay, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to deal with it. Challenges happen. We learn from them. We grow from
Mhm.
them. Really, our successes, they're grown from the ashes of our failures.
Yeah. That's
Knowing
me.
this, yeah, yes.
So me. So, with that being said, before I let you go and we get out of here, I'm gonna hand. I'm gonna get a platform to you. I don't know why I couldn't say hand the platform over. I'm gonna give the platform to you and let you tell the people how they can find you, book you, whatever you want them to know.
Great. Well, if anybody is looking for help filling their talent for their corporate positions or agency positions, you can reach me at paradigmstaffing.com. If you are looking for personal development insights, check out Thriving After 40 on all podcasts. If you're looking for career insights, check out Career Wanderlust on all podcast streaming services. You can find me on my website, joliedowns.com. You can find me at jolie.downs on Instagram or Jolie Downs on LinkedIn. I love to connect with people. I'm happy to offer advice or insights in any way. I'm also a life coach, and you can find out additional information about my programs and such on joliedowns.com as well.
Yes, yes, yes. Now, with that being said, before we end this segment, I would like for you to give my audience an encouraging word or quote for today.
Ooh. Instead of a quote, I would like to say this to the audience.
Go ahead.
It's a very simple thing. People always hear about a bucket list, right? But people often keep that, they think it's a later in life type of thing that they do. What I would like to suggest is that everybody right now, if you don't already have a bucket list, that you pull out your phone, that you add a notes app that says bucket list. And every single time you think of something joyful or something interesting that you want to try, or even a restaurant you want to look at, this is not for big things. This is for every tiny little thing you can think of. You write it down. And what's going to happen is this is going to bring so much beauty and joy into your life, because whenever you have free time, what happens is we forget. We forget about all of these little things that we were thinking of, or that sparked that joy or that interest, and we'll fall back on our habits and do the same thing over and over again. If you start keeping this, when you have that free time, you're like, what should I do with myself today? Or what should I do with myself this weekend? And you take a look, it sparks all of those things. And then you pull something and it will bring so much beauty, so much amazing. And the experience that I had in my life because of this list is incredible. So do not wait. You should have it right now. On the flip side, you can also keep an already accomplished bucket list. Again, nothing too small. Write every little thing down that you have experienced that someone else may not have had the opportunity to do so. And what this list will do, it will bring immense gratitude and appreciation for all of the little things in your life. And it will change your perspective on so much that you experience and do. And the added benefit is when you're struggling or going through a down time, if you take a look at that list, it's very humbling, and it makes you realize how incredibly lucky and what a gift every single day is.
I love that. I love that. So I want to say on that note, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for the likes, the shares, the comments. I appreciate you guys. Don't you go nowhere, but they gotta go.
Yeah.
So thank you guys.
You for this.
You're welcome. Thank you guys for tuning in, and see you on the next episode. Thank you for tuning in to the Successful Toy Podcast. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on YouTube and Twitch. You can also watch us on Facebook Live. If you prefer to listen, find us on Spotify, Amazon Music, Listening Notes, Samsung Podcast, Podcast Index, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. See you in the next episode. Bye.